Peace to the family. Peace to my comrades, and it's always smoke to the COINTEL Pro Boxing fan. Family, what is going on? Start day 4 of no announcement of the Tank versus Shakur fight. And that would have been cool. But it dawned on me today. And since one of our brothers is not going live right now, I wanted to point this out. A more important deadline. It is going on the second month with no real media coverage of the cheating scandal of the champions who have popped hot who have trained under Eddie Reynoso. So what's really going on, family? What's really going on? I know a lot of this is going to be swept under the rug. Salute Sister Shaquilla Fields. And I know that it's easy for us to pivot and get off cold. It's easy for us to be distracted, but I have not forgotten. I have not forgotten that the bottom line is we have cheaters in the sport who have not only been allowed to cheat, but they're allowed to get away with it. It's easy to constantly put pressure on the elite American black fighter. But what about these cheating ass dudes in the sport that nobody's talking about? Why is it okay for everybody to and nobody say anything? You got Jake Paul sitting next to Shadisha Green disrespecting Terrence Crawford. You have a Jake Paul who has become famous off of his boxing exhibitions. And he is famous not for beating real competition, but making a spectacle of the sport. But it is okay for him to sit next to the real thing and insult our best, like Terrence Bud Crawford. But nobody really wants to talk about that. Family, if you come in and you say peace, peace onto you. But if I don't know you, if you're trolling or any of that shit, hey, ranches, get them out of here. If you are coming to fellowship with the family, you are always welcome. But family, we need to pay very close attention to what's about to happen in the sport. There are people who have tried to benefit from our demise over the last 2 years. Really over the last 5 years. Going back to when Deontay Wilder was beaten by Fury the second time. What was being said? What did they go and get Larry Merchant to say? Larry Merchant said this is the last of the great black hope, which was never a thing. But you see what he did there. Okay. Follow me, family. Follow me. Why is the machine not getting behind David Benavidez the way they should? If it was not for Turkey, would we be seeing a David Benavidez versus Yard? If it was not for Turkey, would we be seeing a fight between Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney? Why would the American boxing media go against their own undisputed American champion, Devin the Dream Haney? So the people who are meant to be blackballed, now that Turkey is in the situation and he has way too much money for even a Bob Arum to disrespect, people want to act like they've been with us this whole time. People like Radio Raheem is changing his tune. Be careful. Okay? I'm at the pool with my family, but I felt like I would talk to my other family while I got some time. Because our brother Champ's not live right now, and I want us to talk about this for a second. Are we going to fall for the same tricks that we have fallen for over the last 10 years? When I was growing up, I remember seeing hard-hitting, great Mexican champions. I remember seeing great show-stopping Black American fighters. And it was always this rivalry kind of pushing the sport going forward. Would you or would you not agree, people? Would you or would you not agree with that, family? It was the hard-hitting, warrior spirit-having Mexican, usually versus the slick, hard-to-hit Black fighter or a aggressive knockout artist or punisher American Black fighter. That kept the sport going. Okay. Peace, Joseph Townsend. Peace, Shelton. God bless the mighty LDBC. Peace, Patrice X30. Always in the live, dropping knowledge. But there's something that took place a few years ago. There are people that are in the commissions, that are part of USA Boxing, that are part of refereeing, judges. They wanted boxing to go a certain way. But this is what they forgot. Boxing is not an American sport. Let me say it again. No matter how many champions we have, boxing is not an American sport. Boxing is an international sport. Has anyone asked, how do Eastern Europeans keep getting better no matter what? How do Eastern Europeans keep getting better no matter what? It seems like every Olympics, they're getting better and better and better. They're not part of the USA Boxing program. There's something happening in boxing. And if you all aren't paying attention, in the next few generations, what we loved will be completely gone. So, while they have us fighting, while they have the blacks and the Mexicans fighting each other, you ever notice how the Eastern European is never held to the same standard to either one? Even when Shakur just beat Zepeda, what were they saying? Zepeda, even Zepeda, when he cut off the ring, he still couldn't box well enough. What? I can't make this up. And family, what do I always say? Yeah, let's not do that again, okay? Yeah, let's not do that again. I'm always happy when chickens come home to roost. So all the disrespect, the Tom and Jerry disrespect. When the fighter cuts off the ring and brawls and it still doesn't work, what is everybody screaming? What are they screaming at Zepeda? Box! Box! Do something else. That's not working. So it seems like when you go into the sweet science and you don't have enough science, you have to got a box. But the Mexican fighter and the black fighter are not held to this graceful standard that the Eastern European gets. When Lomachenko was beaten, does anybody remember any memes of Loma? Any of the times he's been beaten, does anybody remember any memes? If Bivol had a night off, does anybody remember the memes? Does anybody remember Radio Raheem, Sean Zattel, Sean Porter podcast? Any of these people, ESPN, any of these usual suspects who are supposed to be the journalists for the sport, why don't they ever have the same energy for them? Is there something happening that we not catching? Now watch this. Shelton said they copied the Black American style. Patrice X30 said exactly, always degrading the style they secretly want to be able to do anyway. When Bivol beat Canelo, how did Bivol beat Canelo? When Bivol beat Canelo, how did he beat Canelo? What kind of style was he using? Did he brawl against Canelo or did he box him? Okay. And when he boxed him from the outside and really just beat him with straight punches and turning him continuously, straight punches and turning him. Canelo hates to be turned. Canelo hates to be turned. No matter how many times he's moving his head and he's bobbing and weaving, he keeps his body on the line. Family, I'm giving you game. I'm giving you game. This is boxing game. Go look at all the videos of you seeing Canelo bob and weave. His body is still on these lines. All right? There's only two lines you can be attacked from in the sport of boxing. It's this way and it's this way. Everything else is on a transverse plane. I'm not going to give you any more than that. Everything else is on a transverse plane. It's straight or this way. Boom, boom. Okay? Canelo does this with his head. All right? Boom. He rarely moves his feet and his body the same way. So Bivol knew that all I got to do is keep him on the outside, straight, 2-1-2, straight, head, body, then move. Boom, I'm not there anymore. Get him on the rope. He's used to this, right? He's not used to this. Okay? But Bivol was not critiqued. Bivol was not ostracized. When Madrimov fought against Bud, the reporters were just, man, look at Madrimov's movement. Mike, look at him. He's so slick. He's smooth like butter. Wait, y'all like that now? Hold on. I thought you all said you all don't want any more time. Oh, I get it. You can be a slick fighter as long as you're doing it against the person we want to see you lose or the person we're tired of seeing win. Okay. So that's one way they got us. Now, what do I always tell you all about agents of chaos? What do I always say about these agents of chaos? Majorov or Bivol don't get ridiculed for no power like Haney does, even though they never knock out dudes. Patrice always coming with nothing but facts. How that work, family? They never get chastised for not knocking dudes out, but they get praised for their boxing skill. I can't make this up. So is it really about boxing? I think not. I think not. Then let's look at the USA boxing team. Let's look at all of these medals we're no longer winning, but they're still promoting this brawling type of fighting style, even though it's not pushing us forward on the international stage. Now, why would they do that? Why would they go against their own interest? On commentary with St. Louis, salute, coach. I'm so glad you started your channel, brother. You have a much needed voice in the boxing space and our community. Salute to you, comrade. I'm trying to come to you all at least 2 days out the week. I want to do a live like this and do a live where I'm on a laptop and I'm showing clips, etc. But every Olympics, you have the Ukraine, Kazakhstan, you have all of these nations going up winning their medals. And the Cubans are constantly giving problems, but the Cubans are starting to have to struggle, not against Americans. They're struggling against Eastern Europeans. You mean to tell me that Eastern Europeans are putting up a better fight than the American boxers? But fighters like Elijah Pierce has to change his fighting style in the amateurs because they want a brawling, stand and fight type of style to win. Now, why would they do that? Why would the powers that be do that? The footwork, the combinations, and the angles. Jared Green, salute. So why would they do that? Why are they not trying to recruit from some of the best slick fighters that come through USA Boxing? Why are they not trying to recruit them? They're still trying to push this brawler type of fighting. Are they maybe trying to change what is expected of the American boxer? They get in the head of a young Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson takes more punishment in this one fight than he has ever taken in his whole career, his whole professional career. That's exactly what they want. They want you to stop fighting the way that you are good at. So you fall for the trap and you get hurt. You fall for the trap and we start to limit down how long you're going to be at the pinnacle of the sport, because they never want another Floyd Mayweather. They never want another Deontay Wilder who is unapologetically for his people and knocking people out with one punch. Hitting people harder, doing the slow motion cam, hitting people so hard that he's changing their actual hairstyle through that punch. And we're saying we have never seen anyone hit that hard with his frame. Eastern Europeans low-key copying black style. Eastern Europeans, let me tell you what the Eastern European is doing. And there are two benefits. The Eastern European, number one, they're taking the best from the highest ranking countries in the Olympics and they are making it into their own. They're sticking with their own training methods that have worked for many years, which one of their best methods is something called the Schultz table. It's called the Schultz table. And the Schultz table is a graph that you put on the wall and it has a bunch of different numbers. And it builds the mental toughness and the ability to move and think fast while you're in the ring. So if you realize you're getting more and more slick Eastern European fighters, and no one is calling them runners. No one is calling them Tom and Jerry fighters. So what is going on? Then you have people like Radio Raheem giving shout outs to the future Larry Merchants and Jim Lampley's of the world, trying to bring them among us like they are one of our allies when they are really an enemy. So how can they combat what's about to happen? How can they go against Turkey's cards and making the best fights happen, which actually is against their supremacy, which is against the propaganda and the scheme and conspiracy that they have, which is not really a conspiracy. It is a well-calculated plan to change the trajectory of American boxing. They are tired of us winning. They're sick of it. And what they know is they're only going to get behind so many Mexican fighters the way they got behind Canelo, because they don't really want one man to have that kind of power. They don't. They did the same thing with black QBs in the NFL, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Duncan in college, etc. Whatever we can do that they can't, they try and degrade that to feel better about their own inabilities. Patrice said that perfectly. I don't even have to build on that. That is exactly what it is. Devin squabbled with JoJo. He stepped to Linares. He stepped to Loma. He rumbled with racist Riri and gets zero credit for those fights. That's exactly right. So what we have to realize is, if anyone learned nothing else from this past weekend, when we stick together, everybody has to shut up. If you go back and you look at all of the disrespect that's happened, when Clarissa Shields, Devin Haney, Keyshawn Davis, Brian Norman Jr., even Richardson, Hitchens' goofy ass, when you have all of our brothers and sisters, the best in the sport, sitting together, and they look like they're on code, cheering for the young brother, all you can do is hate. There's nothing you can say about it. All you can do is hate, because you have the best rooting for our man. So what you gonna say to that? And every time we have unity, you have an agent of chaos come among us to split it up. So when you have a Clarissa Shields make her own promotion company, come out with her own movie where she is showing how she fought for all women athletes to actually get paid and sponsored when they do represent the nation, what happens? A group of women sign with Jake Paul. They keep playing the same trick, and it keeps becoming successful. So now that they got him signed, you got Jake Paul disrespecting our best whenever he can, and the ladies, legit boxers, now are signed under him, and they're afraid to say anything. When Clarissa Shields started her own promotional company, every woman should have went over there. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you feel. I don't care about your business prowess. I don't care about whatever you talk about, numbers, butts, and seats. We always take our power and divide it. Let me tell y'all this. No matter how bad Oscar De La Hoya does people, great Mexican fighters don't stop going over there, because they're going to make him mess up and do business bad with him before they say, I'm about to go sign with these other people before I sign with you. Imagine the best Mexican fighters all going to go sign with Al Heyman. It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. But it's us. It's us still going over. Who was it? It was either one of Crawford's fighters or Haney's fighters that still went over there after all that has happened. Still went over there and signed with Golden Boy. Don't get mad at Coach. I'm just telling you what's going on. Don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you what's real. On commentary with St. Louis, I want to give you a wrench. Because you're family, and we've known each other for a while now. Jared Green, got to give you a wrench. Shelton LDBC, should have been gave you a wrench. Took too long to do it. Here you go. So we got to have an honest conversation with ourselves about being accountable. And yes, like Patrice said, we need that same unity at the Crawford fight. Jake Paul casually saying the N-word in corner of his last fight. His black trainer just stood there, continuing to wipe sweat off him and give him water. How weak do you brothers look doing that? How do you feel being the lapdogs of the community? Here, boy. Here's a treat. Oh, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Now come on up here on my lap. Come on. How do you like being the lapdogs of the community and our children and women are looking at you? Are supposed to look up to you. And our women have more testicular fortitude in the sport of boxing than you. Claressa Shields went up to Keyshawn Davis. And let me tell you all what Claressa said. If you missed it, this is what our great sister said. That's why I'm always 10 toes down behind Claressa. Claressa walks up to Keyshawn and says, now you know that's how these people want us to act. She said, I've been waiting to see you to tell you this in person. I'm your sister. I'm your big sister. I've been doing this under the lights. You think I don't want to walk up to people and slap them in their mouth for disrespect? But they want us to act like monkeys. They want us to act like ignorant buffoons. But don't you ever mess up your opportunity like that. Gave her real game. Now, how many of these brothers who want a seat at their master's table has gone up to that man face to face in front of the enemy and tell him, you with us, you represent our legacy? But they rather shuck and jive to get a reporter spot. So all of you brothers that are always talking about money should be above your morals. Let me tell you something. Speaking from my own experience, because it's easy to say what you would do and won't do if you ain't did it before, but let me tell you what I've done. I've given up a 6-figure paying job for my integrity. And I still put food on the table. I still took care of my family. So I'm not saying be stupid and don't have any money or way to feed your family. But what I am saying is when it comes to your morals and your character and degrading yourself to get a seat at this table, you will go down in history for exactly what you are. I don't care how many times Hollywood tries to make you seem good. When the truth comes out, our children are going to know the truth about you. No matter how much they try to alter the history books, the truth is going to come out. And your lineage is going to be the one that probably has to pay the price for your cowardice and your spinelessness. So shout out to the queen. Shout out to T-Rex Claressa Shields. Clarissa Shields sells out every event she does in Michigan. All of those sisters could have signed with Clarissa and had sellout shows, making their highest paydays and really propelling women's boxing into the stratosphere. But now you all let a young Jake Paul Bob Arum his way in the middle, and now we're back at Clarissa being disrespected by you women who should be kissing Clarissa's feet, who should be thanking her for bringing women's boxing back. Wasn't nobody talking about Katie Taylor like that. Wasn't nobody talking about Savannah Marshall ass. Wasn't nobody really talking about Shadisha Green. Wasn't nobody talking about these women 10 years ago. The UK wasn't even talking about Savannah Marshall like that until it was the rivalry where it was time for her to run that smoke with Clarissa Shields. So how dare you all disrespect her? How dare you all disrespect that sister? And then you brothers need to show up for Clarissa the way she show up for y'all. Shout out to our brother Shakur Stevenson. Because no matter what, I know what that weight feels like that he had on his back. Where you just trying to be great. And you have these bigots and Sambo-minded brothers rooting against you. And playing this propaganda over and over again. And family, none of it is true. None of it is true. But watch this. Props to you, brother Shakur, but I no longer want to see you on ringside cheering for Ryan Garcia. I want to see you, and I want to continue to see you rooting for your sister Clarissa Shields. Keyshawn Davis, I no longer want to see you on FaceTime with a Ryan Garcia laughing and cheesing. If you all want some clicks, you all call Clarissa and be like, what's up, sis? Big sis, what you doing? Because off of you all's fame and popularity alone, that will continue to propel your sister in women's boxing up. Because this is what's about to happen, family. A power grab is about to happen for women's boxing. What are you talking about, Coach Hudson? I'm about to tell you what you all are about to witness. Something huge historically is about to go down. If anyone watched the WWF documentary on Netflix, they talked about the importance of the first WrestleMania. And they talked about how Hulk Hogan was the one that really propelled the whole company into $1 billion industry off of that WrestleMania. His character. Every sport has that same person. The NBA had Kareem, Magic Johnson, and then Michael Jordan. Before that, the NBA was not a $1 billion industry. NFL had theirs. Tennis had theirs. Women's boxing has not really had that since Layla Ali. And even with Layla Ali, she really did not have a partner to tangle with to propel women's boxing into where it needs to be. For the first time in history, family, for the first time in history, we potentially have 3 fights that could happen that could propel women's boxing into the stratosphere. Whether it's Clarissa versus Layla Ali, Clarissa versus Shadisha Green, which the promo is going to get crazy, or Elisa Baumgartner versus Katie Taylor. The only issue with that is if Alicia beats Katie Taylor, those fans that's coming from Katie is not going to stay long enough to propel the whole sport forward. Because some of them, and a lot of them, the reason why they want to see her win, we don't have to go deep into that. Growing with soul, peace, and blessings, Coach, and the family, LDBC strong. Salute, family, to my comrade. So, family, what's about to happen is whichever super fight happens in women's boxing, you're going to have someone that wants to get the power over that. And there are powers that be that don't want Claressa to have the leverage she has. And family, we have to fight. We have to fight. If Crawford beats Canelo, Canelo don't have long. If Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney, Abdullah Mason, David Benavidez, and Yard, if they do crazy numbers in November, family, the powers that be who conspire together to hand the sport over to casual fans and race fans, their mission would have completely failed. Then if Wilder keeps fighting, my God, have I lied to you yet? Over the last year, have I lied to you yet? Not once. I have told you, Shawa has told you, our brother Drew Titan has told you, Champside has told you, the General 78 Sports TV has told you, our teacher in Sensei, Stormy B-Man, has told you that the truth is like a light. Darkness is not real, because when light comes into a room, darkness always disappears and the lie is exposed. The lies have been exposed. The liars and the racists have been exposed. Their skills have been exposed. The PED users are being exposed. The conspiracy is being exposed. Am I moving too fast, or do I need to slow down? Am I moving too fast, or do I need to slow down? Because it's a lot happening. So we got super fights about to happen. We have some of the biggest fights that we have seen in the last 10 years happening in the same year. These races are roaches, and the light's about to come on, and we must keep them from going into their hiding place. When they go into their hiding place, we have to smoke them out, because everyone is about to start coming back home after they were traitors against us. Why was the Daughters of the Confederacy able to rise again in the 1920s? Why was the Confederacy able to go down to South America and start another colony and live and die in peace down there? Why were they able to do that? Because the traitors were not dealt with the way a traitor is supposed to be dealt with in the first place. They were given grace and they were given reparations. Are we going to fall for the same mistake, or do we force them? Do we force them to stay where they are? Do we acknowledge that we remember you, and we remember you being a traitor? We remember you jumping on the hate train. We remember you disrespecting Bill Haney. We remember you disrespecting Brian Norman Jr. Stop there. You good? You good? Go swim. Yes. Give me 10 minutes. Go swim. Stop there. All of you are Brian Norman Jr. fans. Well, wait a second. When Brian Norman Sr. first came back onto the scene, you all were disrespecting him because you thought that this was going to be the next Bill Haney. But then when you saw that he is going to be the opposition against Devin Haney, and the hating you wants Devin Haney to fail, now you all are Brian Norman Jr. fans, and you are praising Brian Norman Sr. for being a great father. Does that not sound like hypocrisy? Salute to the brother Drew Titan. Does that not sound like hypocrisy? Hold on, because I don't want to stumble under my words. Over my words, I want us to acknowledge what's about to happen. Go back. When Brian Norman Sr. first got back on the scene, on these social media boxing outlets, you all were disrespecting him. You were interrogating him every chance you all got. But now you all are friends of Brian Norman Sr. because he's the opposition to Devin Haney and Bill Haney. So, the fight happens. If Devin Haney wins, how do I deal with you? If you are willing to put a brother against a brother just because you hate another brother, are you a comrade? Are you an ally? Or are you a traitor? How should I deal with you? After Radio Raheem jumped on the hate train because he thought it would be beneficial to him, we have allowed him back around us, and now he is doing more interviews with elite black fighters than he has done in the last 3 years. Should they be allowing him back among us? Salute, Stormy B, man. We're just talking about you, brother. Sheldon LDB said, even Devin beats Brian Oman Jr., they'll say Brian didn't fight nobody. Salute, Clarence McLean. That's exactly what they're going to say. That is the play at hand. So we have a lot happening, and I want the truth tellers to keep speaking the truth because we have to acknowledge this. See, they are going to try to throw all of these distractions. Yes, I want Shakur and Tank to fight, but I don't want that to distract me from what's happening. There was a hate train going on, and there was a conspiracy to hand over the sport of boxing to the casual fan and the race fan. But they saw that it was not profitable, and when they saw that Turkey was going the right way, they said, we must get the elite black fighter to fight the best fights again to propel the sport of boxing forward so that we can still send our children to college off of that paycheck after sucking on the tit of the black resource, after sucking on the tit of the black talent so that we can propel our families forward because the race train is not working. The race propaganda in the sport of boxing, especially in America, is not working. Ratings are down. The highest grossing fight is Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. We are losing money. Am I going too fast or do I need to slow down? Am I going too fast or do I need to slow down? Stay with me, family. Stay with me. That is what the plan was. The plan was, we got to get Wilder out the way. Boom. We need Errol out the way. Boom. Okay? All right. They're still trying to figure out how to get Bud out the way. Bud's talking about retiring. Okay. All right. Who else we got to get? We have to split up this unity in women's boxing and take away the leverage from Clarissa Shields. Boom. Okay. Jake Paul, I'm going to come in as a fighter who is posing as someone that just wants exhibitions. Okay, so now I have all the brothers arguing with each other saying that Jake Paul will not be an issue. He is just doing exhibitions. This isn't real boxing. Boom, highest grossing paid boxer and event for that year is Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. So was it a conspiracy or was it a calculated, well thought out plan? And it looks like the plan has succeeded. Are the women not split up now? What happened when Clarissa, come on, stay with me. What happened when Clarissa got her promotion company and that movie dropped? And the women's boxers were all giving Clarissa props. And they were all talking about doing business with Clarissa's promotional company and doing all women events in Michigan that will constantly sell out. What did they do? Jake Paul comes in, y'all come sign with me. Y'all come sign with me. Salute, Mac of the South. That's what they said. You all come sign with me. So now the women are separated. Okay, stay with me, family. Stay with me. Okay, we started. We got Wilder out the way. Okay. We were splitting up the women. All right. Errol's no longer a threat. Cool. Let's keep going. Okay. We have division between Floyd and all of his fighters. Cool. All right, get him out the way. Okay, cool. All right, what next? We are going to propel the racists and bigots in the sport of boxing, whether they're athletes themselves, whether they're on the commission, whether they're refs, whether they're judges. If we just have one of us in every single event, we can be the agents of chaos to curtail the sport to go in the direction we want it to go. But my God, what happened? May came around. Stay with me. Don't lose me. Pay attention. May came around, and when May came around, we had one of the worst Cinco de Mayo boxing weekends in the history of the sport. All right. Okay, stay with me. So now the elites are forced to sit down and say, well, wait a minute, what's going on? We put all this hate and propaganda into the sport, and this should have been one of the biggest weekends. I got news for you, family. Most race fans and casual boxing fans don't buy fights. What? Yes! Most race fans and casual fans only pop up when it's time for the races that they love to do their thing. And they rarely buy fights. You know who buys fights? People who want to see knockouts, people who love the sport of boxing, people who have been following the sport and participate in the sport. That's what makes up American boxing fans. But you all missed the memo. All right. Ben, Conor Ben, and Eubank, Chris Eubank, they put on a magnificent fight. It rattles. It rattles the little sport of boxing. You have Americans now talking about the sport and more excited than we have been in years. But wait a minute. We put all this propaganda and hate. Why is this not working? So what does an agent of chaos do when their plan is not working? They send their minions among us. So now we have Bradley. We have Tarver and Jim Lampley trying to throw the young Devin Haney off of his square while he's fighting. And for those of you who did not realize what was happening, don't leave me and don't leave the chat. Pay attention. They were in a quiet square. They don't have thousands of fans, so Devin Haney can hear them. So from the beginning of round one, you have them yelling, what is Devin doing? Why is he not pressing forward? You don't think that was on purpose, or do you think it was a conspiracy? All right, family, because I know you are with me. I know you're with me. Stay with me. So what's about to happen next? Because I have not lied to you yet. What's about to happen next? They want a civil war between us over Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney. That's the only way they can get a little bit of their power back. They're going to want us to fight over Tank, but I honestly believe that brother has too much going on for their plan to work with him. Mississippi Catfish Face was talking greasy from the beginning. I never thought about that. He does kind of look like a catfish. But family, this is so much bigger than Tarver. This is bigger than Bradley. Is it a conspiracy, or are we on to something, family? Is it a conspiracy, or are we on to something? Why did they go back and get Max Kellerman? All of these brothers who've been putting on this work and being the, come here boy, the lapdog of the community. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. You repeat our propaganda. Yeah, that's a good boy. Let me rub your belly. Let me rub you. That's a good little nigga. That's a good little nigga, you. And if you're offended, you should be. You should be more offended that we have brothers like that who are willing to play that part. So family, don't let them pin us against each other. We need to support Claressa Shields, because whether you all know it or not, and whether Claressa knows it or not, excuse me, the powers that be that saw her in the front of all of those brothers at the Shakur versus Zepeda fight, they see all those brothers behind Claressa. And Claressa's, she's cheering. She is bearing witness to the greatness she is seeing, and everybody in the arena knows they better not say nothing to Claressa, because every single one of those brothers behind her will get active. Yes, indeed. So they're looking at Claressa, whether she knows it or not, like they looked at Brother Malcolm in the movie Malcolm X and said, no man should have that much power. No man should have that much power. So some of you are asking, now remember, this is why you got to stay with me, because when Coach goes forward, sometimes I hop right back into the annals of history. Why did they push so hard when they said that Clarissa Shields popped positive for traces of marijuana? I mean, they called her a threat to the very sport of boxing. But we have not seen any of that energy towards Eddie Reynoso and his camp. Why would they do that? No one man should have that much power. So family, I'm going to cook on Sunday. I'm going to preach on Sunday. Believe it. What better day than Sunday to preach? But I saw that the family was not getting together this afternoon, so I wanted to put these nuggets into your brain, because every single one of you are somewhere where one of us might not be. And you can bear witness to the truth when a well-dressed lie is stinking up the room. Family, I thank all of you for stopping by to chill with me. My family's asking me to come get in the pool, because I've been over here bearing witness with the family. But family, I want you all, if you do not follow any of the truth tellers, if you don't know who they are, if you need to sharpen your steel so that you can defend yourself, this is what I want you to do. First thing I want you to do, I want you to follow, of course, me. Then I want you to follow Drew Titan if you're not. I want you to follow our brother Stormy B-Man. I want you to follow Champside and the General 78 Sports TV, Sugar Free Mars, Shower, all of the family. My brother Clarence McLean. My brother Jared Green. Follow all of these truth tellers, because something that I might miss, one of the other truth tellers are going to get right. And see, when somebody is attacking one of our brothers, you all already know, if I'm in the chat and I get a chance to call in, if I can, I'm calling in to bear witness to the truth. Because when somebody lies on you, I'm coming to defend my family. But I'm going to save some of that for Sunday, because I get to going about that topic right there alone. So family, keep telling this truth, and don't fall for the propaganda hate that's about to take place. Pick your fighter, whether you with Brian Norman Jr. or whether you with Devin. I like them both. And I love that the truth is coming to the top again and showing that only real boxing can propel boxing forward. And the hate and the bigotry and the cowardice will never sell the way they want it to. Family, thank you for rocking with me. Peace to the family. Peace to my comrades. And it's always smoke to the COINTELPRO boxing fan. Peace.